This is former Emperor Calus, and no loyalist. Ciatal is the current Empress of the Cabal. Anyways, Calus is now a Herald of the Witness. But how did we get here? A long time ago, Calus was the son of the Empress before him, and was next in line for the throne. As she aged, she started to ossify, forcing the elite class who influenced her for years to build the Leviathan, to move at light speed infinitely, artificially prolonging her life to prevent Calus from ascending to the throne. This made a young Calus very angry, so he led a revolution to overthrow the militaristic aristocracy that controlled the empire. Under Calus's reign, the empire moved away from military conquest and expanding the empire to redistributing the wealth and granting citizenship to the non-Cabal legions. Well, not all of them. The all-powerful emperor swears he tried to free and grant citizenship to the Scions, who were enslaved to the Cabal Empire during his regime. Oh, and I almost forgot. Also, military conquest and expanding the empire, but just not as much. One of these conquests was destroying the machine god of the Scions. This is kind of important for later. Let's not talk of Calus, the disgraced emperor, but the man. Calus is a father. His first wife would become the mother of Calus's only child. Possibly partially created through Ahamkara wish magic, but his daughter, Ciatal, is the current Empress of the Cabal. That's also important. Calus was a single father after he kicked his second wife out and abandoning her kids because she didn't appreciate how luscious his body is. This fight happened in front of Ciatal when she was 3. Leading an empire takes a lot of time and attention, but even though Calus was never there, he became jealous of his daughter's dog because she gave it attention that she could have given to Big Daddy Calus. So Calus does the logical thing and actually spends time with his daughter. No, he killed the dog. Yeah, that's going to be important. Yeah, that's just really sad. So let's just talk about the Empire again, right? So now we have Calus as Emperor, taking a back seat from the whole galactic conquest in the name of the Cabal Empire, and is much more focused on boring things like freeing the Scions, whom he enslaved, partying, science, the arts, equality, himself, and gladiatorial combat. That last one is going to be important. One of Calus's favorite gladiators was Gaul. He was an albino, a runt, an outcast. He was so impressed by Gaul that he promoted him to the rank of Primus in the Red Legion, becoming the Ghost Primus, because he's albino. Calus would grow close to Gaul and see him as his own son. Ciatal and her BFF Neomuna were warmongers. Calus doesn't like that, and he blames himself for not teaching his daughter that war is not very nice, further straining their relationship. Remember that Scion machine god Calus destroyed? Well, one Scion rebuilt it. Her name is Otzot. Instead of murdering the Scion, Calus promotes her to his council because he was impressed by her intelligence and ingenuity, calling her Otzot the Freeborn, a free Scion, and a not only citizen, but a leader in the Cabal Empire. But Otzot wasn't a fan of freeing every Scion, as she was the one and only Freeborn. So with these pieces in place, Gaul started to carry out the plan his adoptive father set out for him, a coup to overthrow Calus. He gathered some of the closest people to Calus and some of the most important figures in the Cabal Empire. Ciatal, the daughter of the Emperor, Neomuna, the Primus of all legions, Iska, the confidant of Calus. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this correctly. Ciatal, Calus's bodyguard, Otzot, the freeborn Scion, who wanted her people to stay enslaved, and, most importantly, Moly Moly, Calus's personal party planner. Calus was too popular among the people to be executed, so instead they put Calus and a bunch of his loyalists onto the Leviathan to drift off into the vast nothingness of space. Oh, wait a minute. The vast nothingness of space is talking, and gave Calus control over the Leviathan. The darkness, or the witness, promised Calus that he would be among the last chosen few beings alive in the glorious end, once the light was destroyed once and for all. With this new lease on life, Calus explored the universe, and found the greatest warriors from different planets and made them his shadows. Eventually, he set course for the Sol System to fight Gaul and return to the throne. This is when he learns about the Guardians. Calus stops at Nessus, and the Leviathan begins consuming the planetoid. Now, you'd assume the purpose of eating worlds is to generate energy. But no. You're not only wrong, you're also stupid, because the Leviathan consumes worlds to infuse the soil with spores that are then used to make wine so that Calus can embrace his inner suburban soccer mom and drink wine until he ascends to another psionic level. Duh. Anyways, after you defeat Gaul, Calus invites you to the Leviathan. You bring 5 friends with you with the intent of killing the former emperor. You soon realize that the thick cabal that you're shooting with Coldheart is actually a robot. He rewards you for killing the robot, then calls you up when the Leviathan gets clogged, and eventually the Red Legion invades the Leviathan. Calus calls you up to stop them. Then he tells you that you've grown fat from strength and asks you if you would be by his side when the end comes. Nearly a year passes and Calus names you one of his shadows and invites you to the menagerie. As that happens, Calus has just bred a cabal named Galrin to be the shadow of the hive and gives him the Crown of Sorrow, which was made by Savathun in an attempt to impose her power over Calus. Galrin is now under Savathun's control and rallies imprisoned Hive. Calus is unhappy with that, so he asks you to kill Galrin. Now that Galrin is dead, Calus sends an invite to Eris Morn to be the new Shadow of the Hive. Pretty sure he was left on red for that one. Once the pyramid ships strolled up, Calus and his loyalists dipped and left Nessus. Calus then leads experimentation on the Scorn using the Crown of Sorrow upon the Glycon. It kind of works, and Calus speaks with the Witness once more, telling him to travel to the Mercury anomaly. There, he has a true conversation with the Witness and becomes the Herald of the Witness. Calus has been playing propaganda over Cabal radio to try to convince everyone that he's the real Emperor since then. Eventually, Calus and the Leviathan have returned over the moon. They're trying to give the Moon Pyramid, Nezarek's pyramid, the good suck. Now, the Leviathan is infested with egregore, and Calus has control of not only his loyalists, but also the Scorn. And despite you and Eris Morn and Zavala and Crow and Keidel's best efforts to stop Calus, he succeeds and becomes the Herald of the Witness, the harbinger of the collapse. Also, Cabal males carry and nurse their young like seahorses, but Calus's nipples specifically are described as like dark poison fruit.